episode of On the Couch with Fouch. Today, I have Gary Casto of the Tribute Quartet. Did I say it right?
You did it right, absolutely.
I've been rehearsing all day. Gary Casto.
Most people say Castro, and I always say if I had Uncle Fidel's money,
right.
I'd be a wealthy man, wouldn't I?
Yeah, exactly. Gary Casto and Tribute Quartet. Man, how long has Tribute been going for now?
This past December made 8 years. December 31st was 8 years.
That's
Tribute
great.
Quartet. Yeah.
Fantastic. So one of the things that I like to get from people, and since you've answered about Tribute, give kind of your history and of your gospel music career, because I know you've been in it quite a bit longer than 8 years.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, this year I celebrate 32 years in full-time gospel music.
I didn't know it had been that long.
Yes, sir. I tell everybody I started at 36. And I've been at 6 years old and added them years to it. I'm 38 years old. That's not true, though. That's not true. But anyways, I have been traveling a long time, and probably the most known group that I traveled with was with the Wilburns. And when the Wilburns decided to retire, they passed the mantle over to Josh and I and said, "Hey guys, we support you. Take off, do what God's called you to do," and that's how we formed Tribute Quartet.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool to see when a group retires.
Yes.
That they don't just say, "Okay, we're done," and they're done, but they actually say, "Hey, we've got some people in our group that we want to support, help prop them up going into continuing what they're doing." So it's just for instance, like the cathedrals.
Absolutely.
When the cathedrals retired, they help prop up, Ernie Haas when they do Ernie Haas's Signature Sound and Legacy 5, and they were always very nice to Gerald Wolfe and when he was doing Greater Vision. So it's always cool to see those groups do that. So they have to be some of your mentors, musical heroes, something
absolutely,
like that.
and family. We were so close, and we were like their sons. So it was great, and absolutely, they're mentors and our heroes.
Right. Now, I remember, and I think I've told you this before, I remember, I cannot say how old I was or what the year was, but I remember going to a church in Daleville, Indiana, a little small town, and hearing the Wilburns sing. And the one, I think I might have been a teenager, if not, I was like early 20s or so. I remember you were there and Josh was there playing piano. Now, how long? That probably was 2000, 2001, something like that. Were the Wilburns winding it down then, or was everything still going good?
It was going good. Actually, they didn't start winding down to 2004. Mr. Wilburn had some health issues, and decided, hey folks, I think the time's coming. So in 2005 they retired. So I had been with the group for about 2 years, probably when I first met you.
Okay, cool. I remember, I'm pretty sure, I think Josh maybe sang bass that night or something. Was that something you guys did?
We did. We actually did. We put a male quartet together.
Okay, so
Jackie
why
said,
is Tribute not having two bass singers?
Have you heard his bass singing?
That one time, 15 years ago or whatever it was.
We decided that night right there we'll move into baritone.
Okay, good. Excellent. One of the questions a couple people asked was they want to know about when you got saved.
Wow, I remember that. I was 13 years old on a Friday night, 10 minutes after 8 at an old-fashioned revival.
Wow, you got the time and everything.
I remember to this day on a Friday night. It was an old-fashioned revival at my home church in West Virginia. And I'll never forget that evangelist preaching. And I thought, Lord, just shut him up where I can get up there. I didn't realize at 13 years old I could just go,
Right.
But I couldn't wait no longer. And I remember walking down that aisle and falling right there on the altar that night.
Cool.
And what a special moment.
I love when people ask that question. And sometimes when they don't ask, I still ask because I love hearing people's salvation stories, their testimony of when they got saved, because that's the best decision that you will ever make in your life is to accept Christ as your Savior. So if you haven't, contact us or whatever. We'd be happy to show you from God's Word how you can do that. Getting into the questions from social media.
This scares me.
Oh, I think you'll be okay. I didn't take the too crazy questions.
Okay,
I
good.
kept it kind of mild for you. Jason Powell would like to know, What would you like to be remembered for when you retire?
Wow.
And he hasn't seen the questions, so
No, I haven't.
so these are coming off the cuff here.
Jason, I can answer this in one word: real. I want people to know when they're looking over my graveside that they can say that you're real. He
Right.
was real. You know, my grandfather used to tell me all the time, he says, son, you can't take nothing out of this world with you except your reputation, and to always remember to be real.
Right.
So that's what I want people to know.
It's a great answer, man. I love it. Faith Harmon would like to know, what is your favorite on stage memory?
Can I tell anything here?
You can tell. Hey, as those of you that watch know, there really are very few rules when you're on the couch with Cal.
Oh, my word.
You go ahead and just share whatever's on your heart.
I don't normally tell this story, but we were in Maryland. I think Westminster, Maryland, and we were singing that evening, and Josh and I were with the Wilburns. And we had this song, Josh played it real fast, I think it was Goodbye World, Goodbye, something like that. And it was a fun moment, and he'd always fall off the piano stool. And so right after it happened, the folks were dying laughing. And during that set, though, Elaine would always reach over and grab a cup of water. And it was sort of a fun moment, and I would accidentally hit into her, and the water would come out. Okay? So, and anybody knows Miss Elaine, this is very out of character. But that night, I'll never forget, Jackie said, he says, when it all happened, he says, I don't know what to say, ladies and gentlemen. He says, you got a boy that can't stay on the stool, and you got a woman that can't hold her water. I'll never forget that. That is one of them special moments.
That is a good one.
Of course, Miss Elaine's face just turned red. Man. And from that point on, the rest of the concert, we were shocked, I'm telling you.
How do you recover from that?
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
You cannot, there's not a thing you can say.
I
Get over that one.
No, you can't. I said, Jackie, one more song. We got to go.
That is awesome. I was going to say, I love it because I don't have to, I'm not an MC. I don't have to worry about it. But I think it's just awesome when the MC says something like that, that is totally off the cuff and they don't realize, I guess, what they're saying exactly. And you do the MC work or some of it with Tribute, so you've got to worry about stuff like
Absolutely.
that. And so the guys, those of us that are standing back, on stage just watching the MC and listening, when they do something like that, it's like,
what's he gonna do tonight?
Yeah. So I love those. I love those stories. Blanche Gretzinger. Hope I got that one right for you, Blanche. Wants to know, kind of, going along with what you were just telling them. What's it like to travel with Josh Singletary? Because you've been doing it a long time now.
Ooh, Josh and I have been traveling together going on 16 years. And he's like a little brother to me. But I can tell you there's never a dull moment.
Right.
Anybody knows Josh Singletary, he's wide open. But honestly, he wakes up that way and goes to bed that way.
Wow.
And I tell people, he gets it honestly. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree because his dad is worse.
Wow.
I promise you that.
Wow.
And once somebody asked me recently, well, how do you put up with that? I said, well, that's the reason why when I bought this last bus, I have my own room. A place to get away.
Nice. For those of you that haven't seen the interview, I did one with Josh. You can check it out here on YouTube. It's a fun one. I'll just say it that way. Christy Devine would like to know, who is your favorite person to pick on your bus?
Oh my goodness. Probably Riley. Just because they constantly scare me. I mean, they hide underneath the bus in the bays when I open it up at nighttime and jump out. Whatever the case may be, getting in my room, hiding in dark spots about the time I'm about ready to lay down and jump out. All these crazy things.
Right.
Well, other than myself, Riley's the only one that can be scared, so I usually pick on him quite a bit.
Yeah, you got to pick the one that you can get away with it on.
Absolutely.
Right? Because if you pick the one that is going to get you back, it gets kind of scary.
Oh, it does. And trust me, they get me all the time.
Well, I know that I cannot ever do anything to Scott Fowler because Scott Fowler loves to pull, just pranks on people and joke around on people, and so I don't ever mess with him. I pick the people I know that probably aren't going to try to get to that.
Playing it safe.
Right, exactly. Lucas Bittencourt, and he is from Brazil.
Oh, wow.
So,
Great.
so thank you for an international question here, and I'm sure I destroyed that name. I'm sorry. He wants to know, how do you feel when people say that the most important parts in a quartet are the tenor and the bass?
You know what? I've been doing it so long, I start to agree with them. You know, Jim Hamill used to tell me all the time, he said, son, always remember this. They'll want to hear the high notes and the low notes. You'll never amount to a hill of beans, and it doesn't matter because that's the two important parts. And I laugh about that because he was joking, but seriously, that's what folks want to hear.
Yeah.
And they want to hear them low notes and them high notes. And you know what? I'm proud to be a part of it.
Well, Scott Howard says you can't make a good bologna sandwich without some good bologna in the middle. So you got your two parts and your bologna in the middle. That's how he always
Thanks,
says it.
Scott. I'm going to remember that.
These are quick hitters here.
Okay.
Elizabeth Graham would like to know, what's your favorite coffee?
Oh, wow. Hands down, Tim Hortons coffee.
Okay, and that goes right to the next one. Madeline, I'm sorry about that, Graham. And all these people have the same last name. I'm wondering if they're related. You can let me know if you are. She wants to know, what's your favorite Tim Hortons donut?
Oh, wow. It is the chocolate walnut crunch.
I've not had that.
That's my favorite. It's great.
I'm sure it's fantastic. They have great donuts. And then Isaiah Graham would like to know, would like for you to explain in detail chocolate gravy. Before you go there, I love chocolate gravy. My grandmother makes it, my mother makes it, my wife makes it, and so I've grown up on it as well. A lot of people don't know what it is. It's a Tennessee thing, I think.
It is.
So I'm gonna let you do it, but I'm with you on it.
Oh, trust me, there's nothing like chocolate gravy. I was raised on it, even though I was in West Virginia, but I had some family who lived down south, so they brought it,
Right.
to us. But it's like a hot chocolate pudding, just a little thinner, and you pour it over buttered biscuits. Mm-hmm. I asked my grandmother years ago, I said, how did this come about? Years ago, they would serve it at schools to be able to help the younger children to stay awake all day and keep them alert, until years later they found out that was not the healthiest thing to do. But that was the purpose of chocolate gravy. They would serve it at school at the breakfast line before they started to help keep the kids awake.
I had no idea.
So I love chocolate gravy. So it's a hot chocolate pudding that's real thin over butter biscuits.
So do you know how to make it?
I do.
Give them the recipe in case they want to try it.
It takes lots of sugar, and what you do is you take some flour, very little bit of flour, milk, lots of sugar, cocoa, mix it up in a pan.
You gotta have the Nestle cocoa.
There's no better. The Nestle cocoa, and you just begin to mix it up until it's all thin and no lumps in it, and then just pour it over biscuits.
Yeah. And you will love it. I
Absolutely.
love it. My family loves it, so you will love it too. And speaking of fun stuff like chocolate gravy, this is my favorite part of the program. It's the Fouch Zone. All right, here we go. Give a certain unspecified amount of time to answer the questions. If you don't get the answer in the amount of time, we go directly to the next question. I can never get that in a whole breath. Okay, how many hearts does an octopus have? Time. How many countries are between North Korea and Norway?
8.
Which city is further south, New York City or Rome? Time. What country is the second largest software producing country in the world? Time. And which is heavier, hot or cold water? Time. You're getting there. You have
I got the finger going.
You're going.
Wow, this is tough.
Yeah. I mean, did you even answer one?
1.
Yeah, I gave you time to answer one.
Yes.
Okay, so I think your answer was 8, but we'll get to it because I'm going to actually give you a chance to answer. How many hearts does an octopus have?
2.
The answer is 3.
I was close.
Yeah, you were very close. How many countries are between North Korea and Norway? And you answered 8, and I saw you trying to look at a map, visual in your mind. The actual answer is only 1.
Only 1.
And that country is Russia.
And I was way off.
But Russia is like 8 countries, as much land space as there is between
Can we
those
divide
two.
it up?
Yeah, sure. So Russia. And which city is further south? You only had 2 options, and you didn't guess either. New York City or Rome?
Rome.
New York City is actually further south than Rome. But
This
you would
is-
think Rome, because it's in Italy, so you would just not, okay, but no, New York City is. What country is the second largest software producing country in the world?
China.
Ireland. And which is
Wow.
heavier, hot or cold water? And
Hot.
you had the finger going on that one
I
for
did.
a second.
We're gonna say hot.
That's correct.
Is that
Good
correct?
job.
Yeah, I got.
So you got one. 1 out of 5. 20%, you failed. So, man, thanks so much for joining me. It's been fun.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Hey,
yeah, man.
everybody, tune in to him. You'll love it. Come on, man. Where's the love for On the Couch with Fouch?
Watch it. Tell your friends about it. And tell everyone where they can check out all the Tribute Quartet stuff.
TributeQuartet.com. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. And all that other social media stuff.
Awesome. Catch one of their albums, order it online or get it on iTunes, whatever you want to do, and follow them on social media. You won't regret it. They do some fun stuff on social media. Josh is always posting stuff on there.
Absolutely.
So you'll love to follow. And follow On the Couch with Fouch. Give me a subscribe if you will. And please follow me on social media so maybe your question will get asked in the next interview. Thanks so much for following, guys. I appreciate you watching.